Alright, guys, we are coming back in here. We are back live, but we are live with a portable setup. I am live on my laptop, as all my stuff is completely down right now. We have lost power here at the Weather Center, so we're just having to rely on my laptop for weather information. They did just issue a new severe thunderstorm warning. So, again, I wanted to apologize. We do not have power here at the Weather Center. We're completely out. And so, as soon as I was talking, I was literally talking, and I said, man, it's starting to get really, really bad here. And the next thing you know, boom, everything just goes dark. So we've completely lost it. The good news about this, though, is we haven't taken a direct lightning strike like last time. So other people are reporting power outages as well. So the good news is for uh, once we the power outage is not on our particular side, so that's good. Um, but unfortunately, there's a lot that are without power now. We're getting reports of that, and so the weather center, like I said, is completely out of power at this time. So we're on remote streaming, but we are able to continue a live stream and basically use almost the same software. So they just went ahead and issued a new severe thunderstorm warning, which I think is a great idea. I thought this is exactly what should have happened. And so they've went ahead and done that. So that's good. Shirley, Fairfield Bay is now in the severe thunderstorm warning. There's very strong wind gust here, storming really strong here at the Weather Center. I would estimate we're getting anywhere between 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gust, maybe some higher at times. If you look at the storm relative velocity, we're definitely seeing an increase in wind potential in certain areas. And if we kind of back it up, it was definitely higher. Um, so it does kind of look like it might be weakening some, but I still think very strong winds for the Clinton, Shirley, Fairfield Bay, over towards let's see, B Branch, which I think they're dealing with heavy rain right now. Sulphur Springs, um, Morganton, Fairbanks, Southside, Graysville, those areas experiencing very heavy rain. But again, if you're just joining us, apologize for going off air. We lost power. We have no power here at the Weather Center, so we are on remote streaming. And I hope this is working. It appears to be working good. But I'm on my laptop and I'm personal hotspot right now. So the scanner, now we do have the scanner system on a backup battery power supply. So the scanner system for Van Buren and Searcy County is still going to work, but we don't have a backup for my weather stuff. So extremely strong winds on Highway 9 about 5 minutes ago. Had to pull over. Thank you, Simone, for that report. Leslie says strong winds in the Oxley area. Yeah, I mean, the whole line itself is just very strong, 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gust. And I think I would not be surprised if some people are getting 60 mile per hour wind gust. Something knocked out our power. I assume that would have to be strong wind gust. I haven't heard any reasoning behind the power outages. I don't know if it's a lightning strike or if something happened, but I know we're completely out here at the Weather Center. So again, Marshall, Leslie, Shirley, Fairfield Bay, Clinton, just overall a very strong line. I think it's weakening though for Gilbert. I think the rain's starting to calm down. Pendle, you're clear. I think Pendle, Gilbert, you guys are clear. Marshall, you're still dealing with some very heavy rain. Leslie, a very strong thunderstorm over you right now with an increase of wind gust. I would say anywhere between 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts are certainly possible with the storm. And then as we move to the south here, we can look towards Clinton. I think the heaviest rain is going to be going to the east of Clinton, over towards Shirley, Fairfield Bay. I think this is on the doorstep of Fairfield Bay. I think the winds are starting to really ramp up in Fairfield Bay area. And I know it's out of our coverage area, but Cruise Ferry, go ahead and give them a heads up. Very strong storm here. National Weather Service is saying 60 mile an hour wind gusts are certainly possible with this storm. So they've actually got a tornado warning over towards Sherwood. That includes Jacksonville area. So good news is no tornado warning for our area. At least the way it's looking right now, I think we're going to dodge that bullet. Once this exits out, we're done. And mainly just going to be heavy rain. I think there could be some lightning back behind it, but for the most part, I think things are really going to start to calm down. So, very thankful for that. Finally going to get a nice little break here. Let's see. We got reports coming in here. It's working. We're between Morganton and Higdon, and power is out. The wind is back and forth. Very strong when it picks up. Rain is pretty steady. Thank you for that report. Simone says there was a tree struck by lightning, exploded on Highway 9 across from Old Piney. Wow. Heavy rain and wind in Clinton. Thank you for that report. Just started. Ronnie, I assume you're referring to the Fairfield Bay area. Shirley, very, very strong thunderstorm over you right now. I think you're seeing an increase in lightning with this, as well as towards the Fairfield Bay area. So Shirley down to Fairfield Bay, over towards, let's zoom in a little bit more, Crossroads, Whispering Springs, Greers Ferry, Post Oak, Sulphur Springs, Morganton, Fairbanks. I think B Branch is calming down. I think you're probably dealing with some heavy rain still, but I think that's going to start to fade away, and I think things are going to start to calm down for a lot of areas. This is still, though, very strong for the Shirley, Fairfield Bay. And by the way, this severe thunderstorm warning does not include any area in Searcy County. But I think there's very heavy rain over towards Wiley's Cove. Leslie maybe starting to calm down there. But Alberta, Oxley, Alco, Timbo, this is headed towards your direction. It's right on the doorstep of Campbell, Oxley. I think it's really rocking in Oxley right now, and that's moving off to the northeast. So I think 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts are certainly possible. Searcy County area, northern Van Buren County, and specifically the eastern half of Van Buren County. I think there could be 60 mile an hour wind gust embedded with this line. I think for the most part, for most locations, once you get the heavy rain moving through, and I apologize for the beeping noise. That beeping noise is our backup battery telling us that we are on backup power supply right now. So that tells me that our scanner is running completely on battery right now. So here's what we've got. We've got Shirley, heavy rain, Fairfield Bay, heavy rain, Greers Ferry, very heavy rain, or will be soon. If we zoom in a little bit further, Crossroads, Fairbanks, Sulphur Springs, Morganton, Choctaw Pines, Green Tree, Choctaw, those areas. Let me see if I can silent that alarm. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. That was some wild winds. Absolutely. Had some trees blow over past Crabtree. Thank you for that report. When it is safe to do so, obviously not now because we're dealing with the event, but power is out on Kirkendall Road, Botkenberg. Yeah, 100% Shannon. And our power is also out here. Had some trees down on our property in Oxley. So these reports we're getting, when it's safe to do so, and I mean when there's no lightning, when the rain has faded away, the winds have calmed down, send us pictures. Because we would love to see the pictures of trees down and damage. I mean, I don't want to use the word love because obviously that's a bad deal. We don't want to see damage, but we would appreciate your reports and pictures and things like that. We can get it over to the National Weather Service. Now, obviously they won't be sending out a survey crew or anything like that because there's no question of tornadoes for our area, but it's certainly something we can see, confirming what radar's showing. Letting up at 65 and county line. Thank you, Ken, for that report. Yeah, I think it's starting to calm down now. I still think very heavy rain, though, just right around Marshall, over towards Leslie. I think Leslie's starting to calm down, too. If I had to draw it from, like, Marshall down towards Shirley to Fairfield Bay, that line right there would be experiencing very strong wind gusts. Again, maybe 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gust. And I think as you drop south, you get more into a stronger portion of the line. That could be pushing more to 60 mile an hour wind gust. You'll notice the severe thunderstorm warning that does include half of Van Buren County has 70 mile an hour wind gust, and the one that they just issued that expires in 41 minutes is showing 60 mile an hour wind gusts. So you could see that weaker winds in northern Van Buren County and Searcy County, and we see that on our storm relative velocity. You could see some of the winds are still kind of bowing out a little bit, but for the most part, it does seem like it's definitely looking a tad bit weaker. So that's great news. Great news. Does anybody have any questions out there? And again, I apologize for the stream ending. I don't have a backup battery on my live stream stuff, so when we lose power, we lose power. So, Golden Pond, Shirley, Arkansas, horrible winds. Thank you for that report, Brenda. Jesse says, let's see, winds picking up in Quitman, Pearson area. Thank you for that report. Rachel says, got bad wind and heavy rain at Oxley. Nothing damaged yet, though, I don't think. Good deal. How's Quitman looking? Quitman needs to be watching the storm very closely. Matter of fact, let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at a few areas here. Rosebud, Gruce Ferry, those areas, very strong winds headed towards that direction. Concord, keep an eye on that. So I'm asking about Maumelle, and that's out of our coverage area. But in my opinion, at least the way it looks right now, I'm going to say mainly heavy rain. I think the severe weather threat is coming to an end for your area. How's BB looking? Keep an eye on the weather. BB needs to be watching this close. Got more people jumping in here now. We had wind gusts 40 to 50 mile an hour here at 110, 4 miles from Shirley. Thank you for that report. Wind was crazy in Clinton just a few minutes ago. Thank you for that report, Braden. Strong winds and heavy rain on eastern side of Fairfield Bay, Cleveland County. Thank you for that report, guys. We appreciate you guys sending us these reports. It allows us to know if the radar is correct in what it's saying. Got a question coming in for the Marshall area. Marshall's good. Some heavy rain to the east, but I think this is dying down pretty much for that area. Hannah, watching. Welcome. I think things are really starting to calm down finally. But I think there's certainly going to be some heavy rain. I know here at the Weather Center, it's certainly calmed down. We still don't have power. We're completely out, but at least we're not dealing with any kind of strong lightning or anything like that. So that's good news. Thanks, Blaze. You're welcome. Trees down on cars in Russellville. Still getting reports. Charles, thank you for that report. He's a storm chaser out there. Is the line across Highway 65 now? I'm in St. Joe heading to Clinton. Jamie, looking at what I'm seeing, if you're in St. Joe and you're going to be moving to the south heading towards Clinton, I think you're going to be just fine. You may get into a little bit of heavy rain as you get closer to Clinton, but I think for the most part this is starting to really fade away. Crazy wind and rain, Angora Mountain, Stone County. Thank you for that report. Yeah, very strong thunderstorm there over towards the Stone County area, Angora Mountain. Thank you for that report. Linda says light rain in Mountain View. Thank you for that report. That will likely change, especially if you're in the Mountain View area, because this storm does have some pretty strong wind gusts with it, 60 mile an hour wind gusts to be exact. So I would suspect you're going to go from heavy rain or light rain to very strong wind gust and very heavy rain soon. Great, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, I appreciate the questions. The more interactive we can make the stream, the better. Again, I apologize for my voice. It does sound like it's doing pretty good, though. It was struggling here, towards the first, but I think it's finally coming back, which is weird because you'd think if I'm losing my voice, it would continue to go, but I'm feeling more like I've got my voice every day. So, or every hour. So there was voice correct there just a second ago, but. All right, so I think heavy rain, there's another band of heavy rain south of Marshall, may impact Marshall in the next 10 minutes-ish, but I think personally this thing is starting to really fade away. We're going to stay on this for just a little while longer until this exits Van Buren and Searcy County, but I think most locations are really starting to transition into heavy, heavy rain. I think there's a flash flood threat too with this. And I know Petty Jean Electric's working really hard, and I fully anticipate they'll be getting our power on very quick. Like I said, the good news is, the good news with this is that we didn't take a direct lightning strike here. The power outage is actually beyond our house, not at our house. So, last two systems we've had lightning strikes, and we've lost power multiple times. So, I need to get a backup battery. That's what I need to get for my live stream. But those are expensive, and one that runs our whole setup would need to be really powerful. So I'm doing research on that right now. So good for the night in Clinton? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think it's cooling down out there. And I think so. Alright, we got a new. Oh, that was bad. That was bad on the voice. I said it was getting better, but it is when I talk a lot, I guess. New radar scan coming in. You can see Leslie down to Clinton, B Branch. You guys are clear. I still think you're dealing with some heavy rain around Shirley. I know this is out of our coverage area, but I know we got people watching from Alco. Those areas, very strong winds. Landis, very strong winds right in that area. Really, I think it's storming pretty good between Landis and Timbo. I don't, somebody could comment and let me know, but I really think winds are picking up between Landis to Alco to Timbo, those areas. Maybe not Alco yet, but it's on the doorstep. I think it's really starting to calm down in Shirley, Fairfield Bay. I think you're clear now. I think once the line is passed through, you're clear. Marshall, you're clear. Leslie, you're clear. Clinton, you're clear. Botkenberg, you're clear. B Branch, you're clear. Damascus, you're clear. Denard, you're clear. St. Joe, Pendle, Western Grove, Gilbert, you're clear. Those areas are clear. Where we still have some activity is between Goose Ferry, Shirley, and like I said, up towards Timbo, Alco, Landis, Fairview, those areas. Still watching this storm very closely, as this is going to be pushing off to the northeast. So, still got a warning in our coverage area here. Good for the night in Clinton. Something has happened in Oxley for sure. Yeah, very strong wind with this. Thanks, Blaze. You're welcome. Lacey says thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Yes, for sure in Landis, I'm not liking. Yeah, it's very strong here. Looks like something's getting paged. In the Highway 110 area. I just got a page on my phone from the scanner. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I'll find out. But something's going on Highway 110. At least that's what the information I just received. I'll find out here in just a second. But probably has something to do with lightning strikes. So, Shirley, Fairfield Bay, Goose Ferry, still dealing with the heavy rain. I think it's starting to calm down in Shirley. Yeah, let's find out what's going on here. Hang on, guys. I'm going to find out. I'll tell you here in just a second. Okay, this information coming in from 911 Dispatch, Van Buren County.
911 Dispatch, Shirley Fire Department. 911 Dispatch, Shirley Fire Department. Got reported a tree down on both lanes of Cut Highway. It's coming on the Shirley side of Highway 110. They were unable to give us a numerics. Again, tree down, blocking both lanes, Shirley side of Highway 110.
So, tree down, blocking both sides of the highway on the Shirley side of 110. That's what we just received. That's a live dispatch coming in from 911 Dispatch of Van Buren County. So, Highway 66, Alco, Timbo, very strong storm right now. It's out of our coverage area. We're going to stay on it for a minute, though. Landis continues to get very heavy rain. Rushing, you're dealing with very heavy rain right now. Let's see what they go ahead and do with the warning. Well, the warning expires in 30 minutes, so they're not going to cancel it. Not anytime soon. But the storms itself is fixing to get out of our coverage area. And I just want to throw this out there, just out of curiosity. Just curious if anyone has any interest in this. If there was an opportunity, or I have been thinking about expanding the coverage area some, what do you guys think about that? Is that something that would interest you? Expanding out a little bit more than what we're doing right now, instead of just doing Searcy County, Van Buren County. I've got some ideas. There's some exciting things in the works, but I just was curious if that's something that people would benefit. I know most of our viewers are from Searcy County, Van Buren County, but I know there's people, like earlier we just got somebody from Mountain View. Had somebody in BB. I don't think we'd expand that far out, but I know there's a lot of people from other areas popping in, and I just was curious if this is something that, I'm just throwing the idea around. All right, so we've got severe thunderstorm warning continuing. It includes Mountain View, Concord, Fairfield Bay, Shirley. Yeah, okay, so people are tuning in, wanting the expansion. Okay, awesome. Well, never know what the future holds, but I was just curious if that's something that people might be interested in. Not saying that's going to happen. I'm just seeing how much interest we would have, and it sounds like we'd have a lot here. So we're continuing to watch this. We've got severe thunderstorm warning. I know one of the number one things I need to do is definitely get a backup battery for my computer, because when the power goes out, we're up a creek, so but let's go back to this storm here real quick. So we've got severe thunderstorm warning, and they've went ahead and Landis, you're not in the severe thunderstorm warning. Alco, you are. Onya, Pleasant Hill, Timbo, you guys are under the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, no tornado threat with this at all. It's mainly just a damaging wind threat. Rushing, you're still dealing with very heavy rain. Brewer, dealing with heavy rain. Sunny Slope, down to Goose Ferry. It's a very strong line that's pushing through. And I think if you know anybody in Mountain View, Guyan, Mount Pleasant, Melbourne, Cushman, Southside, Batesville, Concord, go ahead and give them a heads up. This storm is going to be heading their direction over the next, I would say, 30 minutes to an hour or so. This is getting out of our coverage area now. There is no immediate threat to our area, except for there are people that do watch us from the Searcy County, Stone County line, and because of that, we're going to stay on this as long as this moves out of the area. Once it moves out of like Alco, Timbo, Pleasant Hill, Landis, we'll drop the coverage, but I want to stay on this right now because I know there's people watching, and I hate to just end the stream. So if we look at our storm relative velocity, we can see, there's some wind gusts still associated with this. It's going to be to the south of Calico Rock, down towards Mount Olive, Mountain View. You're not really seeing much wind right now, but I fully anticipate over the next, 30 to 45 minutes, and maybe even quicker. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like the storm's tracking at about 45 miles per hour, so it could be quicker than that. But I will tell you something I am watching is a little bit of a stronger storm up around Concord that's kind of isolated on its own. So we're going to have to watch that just a little bit close. But, there's a chance that the heavy rain in front of it may kill its potential. So, again, I apologize for the beeping noise in the background. That's backup power supply for the scanner feed. But that power supply would not, that one would not cover. It doesn't have enough power Tornado warning, Pulaski County, specifically Jacksonville area from Arkansas Storm Team notification. Thank you for that report. Yeah, there's a... Actually, they went ahead and canceled that tornado warning. That may be just kind of a delayed notification. I know sometimes those notifications can be delayed, and Facebook's one of the worst at delaying notifications. So, all right, we're staying on this for just a few more minutes. Getting ready to end the stream, though. I still think heavy rain should start fading away, rushing towards Turkey Creek. But at this point, if you're in Searcy County or Van Buren County, all clear. We're done. Maybe some more heavy rain towards Pendle, Marshall, and then there could be some more heavy rain coming in from Dover. But the severe weather threat for our area is over. It is over, and you can go to bed. You can rest. You go to bed if you want, but it's only 6:20 right now, so I'd recommend staying up a little bit longer. But the good news is you're not going to have to be worrying that you got to stay up and watch storms, because they're going to be faded away, and they'll be done, and they are done for our area. So, all right, so Marshall, Leslie, again, Searcy County, Van Buren County, clear. The only area that's not clear, and that we have people watching from, I know right now, is Onya over towards Landis, which technically Landis is in Searcy County, but I see heavy rain for Landis, and I think that's starting to fade away now. So we're going to give it another 5 minutes, 6:25-ish. We're going to end the stream, because I think the threat's pretty much gone for our area. Thank you for the live stream. You're welcome. How much longer? Quitman, Pearson area. So let's look at that again. So, what I'm seeing, heavy rain, Quitman, Pearson area, but I think the severe weather threat is starting to wind down in that area, because I think you're east of the main line itself. So, all right. Well, anybody got any questions out there? Somebody said Huddle House in Clinton. I assume that's a report. Let me check. Someone just sent us a message. I assume there's a picture, probably a report coming. All right, so let's see. Crystal says heavy rain and wind in Alco. Thank you for covering our area. You're welcome. Christina says Landis is calming down now. Thank you so much, Blaze. You're welcome. Jesse says love the streams. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hopefully the power comes back on pretty soon. Now there could be some more. It's windy a little bit here at the Weather Center, but it's not like severe wind or anything. Maybe 15-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but nothing significant. So we're ending the stream in about 2 minutes. So real quick, I know there is somebody on from Mountain View, and I just want to give you an update on this. I certainly think it's possible you could see 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. I think the strongest part of the storm is going to go to your south, but I think heavy rain is going to be impacting Mountain View in the next 15 to 20 minutes. And then over towards Guyan, same thing. Mount Olive, Melbourne, very strong thunderstorm. Keep an eye on this. I think it's heavy rain, Big Flat, Onya, 56. I think Onya's starting to calm down, though. So that's great news. Timbo, Alco, guys are done. If you're in Alco, Timbo, you're finished. You could still have some rain and maybe some small gusty winds, but in terms of any severe weather threat, you're done. Searcy County again, Van Buren County, clear for the rest of the night, the evening. We're done. We're fixing in the stream. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning into this broadcast. Appreciate you guys. Apologize that we lost the main stream from the Weather Center, but at least we got a backup, personal hotspot. Can continue streaming and bringing you the coverage. So, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have this laptop, though. If I didn't have this laptop, we'd be in trouble right now. Guess I'd be trying to go live from my phone, but oh, that's a nightmare. I don't want to do that. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys so much tuning into the broadcast. Everything looks like it's worked, other than our power going out. And Petty Gene Electric is on it and is working on it. So, guys, thank y'all so much. Real quick, recap, just real fast. Heavy rain for most areas. Some gusty winds is certainly possible. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible for the Mountain View area over the next 15 minutes. I certainly think that Searcy County, Van Buren County is clear, though. A severe thunderstorm warning will be allowed to expire shortly. Even though it says severe thunderstorm warning for Clinton, Fairfield Bay, Shirley, no, it just hasn't expired. They'll let it expire in 20 minutes, and then we'll have no warning at all. Damage in Oxley. Thank you for that report, Heather. When it's safe to do so, not right now, but when things really start calming down, message me. And if you have pictures, send those to me as well. We'll post them on the page. I hate to hear that there's damage, but I will say I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at the slightest, because I told you guys, I strictly said I think there's damage in this, and I fully anticipate we're going to get wind damage reports, and that's exactly what we saw. So I was calling it before we even had a severe thunderstorm warning for the area. So, and that's why, National Weather Service, they've got a busy job. They've got a lot of areas to watch. I specifically watch our area. So I'm keeping a very close eye on things, and I can report them as quick as I can to Facebook. So, and YouTube, because we're on both. So, I think getting paged again, but I think it's for the same tree down. 110, both lanes are blocked from what I hear on the Shirley side of 110. So, all right, guys. Well, we are done. And I'm going to end the stream. Y'all have a great rest of your night. And we are all clear for Searcy County, Van Buren County. Like I said, if you would be interested in us expanding our coverage area, send me a message. Let me know. And we'll go from there. So, just thinking on ideas. You never know what the future holds. There is exciting things in the works. But